Navy lab heard earthquakes before they happened, then erased the data. In the damp, humming quiet of a 1973 Navy listening station in California, a team tasked with tracking submarines picked up something entirely unexpected, a strange, persistent hum. It wasn't the churn of a propeller or the ping of sonar. This sound was deeper, slower, almost primordial. It seemed to rise from the ocean floor itself, a low and steady vibration that thrummed through their equipment, like a distant cello string being gently but insistently bowed. The air in the control room was thick with the smell of ozone and warm electronics, and the technicians exchanged puzzled glances. What were they hearing? A junior technician named Mark, young and sharp-eyed, was the first to notice the pattern. Late one evening, as he sipped lukewarm coffee from a chipped mug, he watched the needle on the recorder jump rhythmically. He felt a prickle of curiosity, then unease. He logged it as an anomaly, a glitch perhaps. But it kept happening. A faint hum would appear on their monitors, almost ghost-like, and days later, sometimes hours, the earth would tremble. A tiny hum, then a tremor, every single time. Mark's mind raced. Could they be hearing the planet's bones grinding together under pressure? The idea was electrifying. Driven by a mix of scientific thrill and nervous determination, they built a dedicated receiver, nothing more than a simple loop of wire, crude and unassuming. It wasn't fancy tech. It listened to ultra-low frequency waves, the kind the Earth groans with when strain builds silently beneath its surface. Their logs later revealed it detected a magnitude 5.2 quake with chilling clarity 72 hours before it struck. The signal was unmistakable, a rising hum that swelled like a storm gathering strength, peaking in intensity moments before the ground finally shook. They had proof, real, tangible, repeatable proof. They could hear the planet's stress, a secret language of impending destruction. Their commander took immediate notice. But his reaction wasn't excitement, it was cold, swift action. He classified the entire project top secret, no outside publication, no peer review. The official reason was national security, the fear that enemies could use such a tool to predict attacks or disrupt communications. But those in the room sensed something else, something unspoken hanging heavily in the air. The real reason was far more complicated, and you'll find out why in a moment. What followed felt like a scene from a bleak thriller. All prototypes were dismantled under armed guard. Paper records, reams of carefully annotated readings were fed into shredders until nothing remained but confetti. The tight-knit team was broken up and reassigned to distant posts. Mark, the heart of the discovery, was sent to a remote, icy base in Alaska. His personal research notes vanished from his locker as if they had never existed. The lab itself was stripped and repurposed for standard sonar work. It was like the discovery never happened. The method wasn't just shelved, it was buried. Decades later, a determined historian, digging through declassified files obtained via a Freedom of Information request, unearthed the truth. The data was all there, waiting in cold, bureaucratic prose. The hums, the quakes, the correlations, page after page of evidence showing the system worked with over 80% accuracy. The Navy knew. They had held a tool that could have given communities precious hours to evacuate, to prepare, to save countless lives, and they chose to destroy it. Why silence a world-changing breakthrough? Because it threatened a billion-dollar industry. Conventional seismology at the time relied on expensive, sprawling networks of ground sensors and deep earth monitors. This antenna was breathtakingly cheap. Anyone with basic technical skill and a few dollars worth of parts could build one. It would have made those complex systems obsolete overnight. Powerful defense contractors and established research institutions lobbied hard behind closed doors. They protected their market, their funding, their prestige. Truth and the chance to avert disaster became the casualties. The scientist who started it all, Mark, never spoke about it again. He carried the weight of that silenced discovery with him until his death in 2008. His family, going through his belongings, found a single handwritten note tucked inside an old textbook. The paper was yellowed, the ink slightly faded. It read, "We heard the future." And we were ordered to forget. If you love hidden science, hit subscribe and never miss a secret story.